Semiconductor stocks are getting hammered today. We're talking 7% drops across the board. But here's the twist. These same chips are still crushing it on the week. So why the whipsaw? And what does it mean for your portfolio? Let's find out what it means for you. Let us start with the indices. So the Nasdaq had a rough one today, down 1.15%, closing at 26,376. That's a solid pullback. But, and this is important, zoom out to the week and you're up 2.72%. So it's not all doom and gloom. The semiconductor sector took a beating today, which dragged the whole tech-heavy index lower. Could be profit-taking after a strong run. Could be some macro nerves ahead of tomorrow's retail sales data. Either way, the weekly picture is still pretty healthy. Now, the Dow did the opposite thing today, up 0.64% to 51,999. That's interesting because it shows you a real divergence happening. While tech got punished, the blue chip names, especially financials, held their ground. On the week, the Dow is up 2.22%. So you're seeing a shift away from growth and into value and stability. That's typically a risk-off signal, not a crash, but definitely something to watch. Now here are the top movers of the day. KLA Corporation is down 7.44% today, trading at 237.33. Ouch. But stick with me because on the week it's up 10.93%. So this is a classic profit-taking story. KLA supplies chip-making equipment, and when the semi-sector gets nervous about demand, the equipment makers get hit even harder. Today felt like a sell-the-rip moment for traders who rode that weekly gains. AMD dropped 7.3% today to 507.29. Another semiconductor name getting crushed, same story as KLA. But the weekly picture is still solid, up 6.68%. AMD makes chips for everything from servers to graphics, and the market is flip-flopping on whether AI demand is slowing or if margins are getting squeezed. Today was clearly a seller's day for the stock. LRCX, down 5.03% today at 369.34. Another chip equipment play, and yep, down on the day, but up 12.89% on the week. This is the semiconductor equipment sector getting rotated out of after a monster run. These stocks have had a great week, and today some profit-taking hit all three of the equipment guys at once. Broadcom is down 4.37% today to 376.71. This one's also in the chip space, so same gravitational pull. But interestingly, it's actually down on the week too, minus 3.94%, which means it's been struggling longer than the others. Broadcom makes connectivity chips, and there might be some specific concerns about demand in infrastructure or cloud, spending slowing. JP Morgan Chase is the bright spot here, up 3.68% today to 331.14, and up 5.9% on the week. The big banks are thriving while growth stocks are getting pressured. That's because higher rates and tighter credit conditions are actually good for bank profitability. JPM's move today tells you that money is rotating into financials and away from the expensive growth names. That's a very risk-off trade. Now let us look at energy and fuel. Oil took a hit today. WTI crude dropped 5.96%, sitting at 75.94. And the week? Down 13.9%. That's a big move. Demand concerns are probably the main story here. Maybe some worry about global growth slowing down. Could also be OPEC holding steady on production while the market gets nervous. Either way, energy traders are not having a great week. Natural gas is doing its own thing, up 3.49% today to 3.260 and up 3.82% on the week. Summer cooling demand is ramping up, which always lifts nat gas prices. Storage levels are probably tighter than they were last year around this time. So while crude is getting crushed, natural gas is actually finding some foot. Moving on to metals. Gold is doing what gold does when people get nervous. Up 0.54% today to 4,351.40 and up 2.15% on the week. It's not a huge move, but it's steady. When equities get wobbly and people start questioning growth, gold becomes the safe place to hide. The fact that it's climbing suggests there's definitely some risk-off sentiment bubbling under the surface. Silver is tagging along with gold, sort of up just 0.04% today at 70.10, but on the week, wow, up 7.7%. That's a serious move. Silver tends to be a hybrid. It gets some safe haven demand like gold, but it also has industrial uses tied to manufacturing and tech. That huge weekly jump suggests investors are piling in on both fronts right now. And finally, let's look at tomorrow. All right, so here's what's coming tomorrow that matters. We've got retail sales data at 8:30 in the morning. That's high-impact stuff. Consensus is looking for 0.5% growth, and a miss could spook the market even more. Then President Trump speaks at 9:30, which always moves things around. And the Fed chair is expected to skip some guidance on rate cuts, which might actually be hawkish. So tomorrow is loaded. Tonight, the market is telling you it's getting nervous about growth and rotating into safety. Keep an eye on whether tech can stabilize tomorrow or if that selling pressure continues. Either way, you're not looking at a crash, just a healthy pullback. Stick around for what happens next. For your daily market update video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification.